If someone came up to you with seeds that could help the sick get well, help a country out of recession, and reform the judiciary system, however, these seeds would cause mass pandemonium and heavy debate, would you plant them? In this speech, I'm going to talk about the underlying problem with keeping marijuana illegal, the causes of the problem, and finally, the solution that will solve this problem. Marijuana, the problem underlying this issue with it being illegal, is that our courts are overcrowded, and marijuana has medical and economical benefits. One major problem with marijuana being illegal is that our courts and jails are being overcrowded. The government does not get money because they can't have taxation on marijuana. They are losing money because they have to pay the prisons to keep up maintenance, because they have too many people for each jail cell. By having less people, they do not need as much maintenance, which saves them money. Prohibition is ineffective and very expensive. A better solution to the struggles of marijuana, or with abusing marijuana, is to educate people and have regulations. Marijuana is perceived as addictive. In the Controlled Substance Act of 1970, marijuana was said to be a Schedule I drug. This means that it is said to be a high potential for abuse drug. This means that people perceive marijuana as being addictive and that it dominated their lives. In some cases, this is true, much like in drinking. So why is it legal? It has historically been linked with narcotics such as heroin. Marijuana is perceived as a gateway drug. The American consciousness thinks of marijuana as an abnormal recreational drug such as heroin and cocaine, the normal drugs being alcohol, caffeine, and nicotine. Another problem with marijuana being illegal is it was once associated with oppressed ethnic groups. Marijuana was once used by the blacks or slaves and working class people, which was the minority group. They pushed towards keeping it away from those men to make them suffer even more. Those are only some of the problems we have facing the legalization of marijuana. Now I'll explain to you how marijuana became illegal in the first place. There are many causes of this problem with making marijuana illegal. In 1914, the Harrison Act was passed. This act provided federal tax penalties for drugs such as opiates and cocaine. At this time, however, the federal government did not have the power to outlaw against drugs and alcohol laws, bringing us to the alcohol prohibition and federal approaches to drug prohibition. The U.S. dealt with alcohol prohibition from 1919 to 1933. The alcohol prohibition was very visible and debated, while the drug laws were passed without the public people knowing. The Federal Bureau of Narcotics was established in 1930. This is when the all-out war against drugs started. On August 2nd, the Marijuana Tax Act of 1937, made by Harry Anslinger, was put into play. This was when marijuana became illegal on the federal level. Him and his partner, William C. Woodard, lied and criticized that marijuana had been used to deliberately confuse the medical and industrial hemp communities. In 1997, Prohibition 215, California and Colorado legalized medical marijuana in order for medical treatment. With the problem out in the air and the causes isolated, now I'm going to discuss some solutions to this problem. The solutions to the problem with marijuana is simply to make it legal. By legalizing marijuana, from taxes the government would be receiving thousands, millions, possibly, or dollars that could go towards more important things, such as roads, schools, educations in general. They need to focus on more pressing issues than marijuana, seeing as it really isn't that big of a danger, or as much as they like us to think. Marijuana would also have restrictions, just like alcohol and cigarettes. It would be restricted to minors and also have restrictions on driving under the influence and attending school under the influence. Legalizing marijuana could stop drug-sponsored organized crimes. It could spread money throughout poor countries while not reducing our laws. It could have restrictions on DUIs and other laws dealing with alcohol and tobacco, but also allowing the enjoyment of healthier and safer plants. There are approximately 20,000 people that die of alcohol consumption each year in the United States, let alone. Yet there's never been a death from marijuana overdose. There have been no poisoning of marijuana like there has been poisoning in alcohol. There is no health benefit to drinking hard alcohol, yet we are allowing it to be legal over the age of 21. Cigarettes are exactly the opposite of healthy, and we are posting cigarette ads in newspapers, on billboards, for the whole world to see. Americans are being hypocritical if they're choosing to keep marijuana illegal. So thank you. Thank you very much. Good job, guys.
Yeah.
Hopper,
Yeah.